was the theology that they determined for talking about what's acceptable with an image. And I think this is pretty good, frankly. So, first I said, we're not bound to these councils. But second, this is what they came up with as their answer to, can you have an image set up and bowed down before it? All right? Okay. So they say, as the sacred and life-giving cross is everywhere set up as a symbol, so also should the images of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, the holy angels, as well as those of the saints and other pious and holy men be embodied in the manufacture of sacred vessels, tapestries, vestments, etc., and exhibited on the walls of churches, in the homes, and in all conspicuous places, by the roadside and everywhere, to be revered by all who might see them. For the more they are contemplated, the more they move to fervent memory of their prototypes. Therefore, it is proper to accord to them a fervent and reverent veneration, not, however, the veritable adoration which, according to our faith, belongs to the divine being alone. Worship, right? Worship would be the English word. For the honor accorded to the image passes over to its prototype, and whoever venerate the image venerate in it the reality of what is there represented. So I'll just say that before we go to 2D, 3D at all, yeah, it's a piece of wood. I look at it often. I carry it often. I think with it. I use it as a object permanence reminder as well, something that if I have emotions that are tough, I'll try to not feel this so they go away. I'll feel this as a place where the pain that's inside can be allowed to have contact with something outside. It's a kind of CPTSD tool. It is only valuable to me in any way, shape, or form because every time I look at it, I'm reminded of Jesus Christ, the actual God-man, incarnate, dead, risen, the guy I preach. What more power does it have? Well, whatever it does, we don't know. Science says none, right? Pagan voodoo says all sorts. We say the hidden things are left to Jesus, yeah. But we will confess what he has given us. And so again, that creation has been redeemed in the man Jesus and his actual image is the point of that text that was just read and confessed from that council, which is that because creation has been redeemed, so long as the picture that you see accords with who Jesus is and what he's done and points to him as your King and Lord, then it is a picture of him. And he knows that. And he will use that, just as he uses the image of the cross. And anybody who would say otherwise, their point is, well, you got to take it down the cross too then, don't you? Since we can look at a cross as an image, then anything that tells us about Jesus is just the same, right? And the problem is when the story stops telling you about Jesus. So when the statue of Saint Joseph isn't telling you about how he was a good father to his son Jesus so that you might be saved by Jesus, and instead he's helping you pray to get out of jail or whatever it is Joseph's patron saint of, I don't know. See, now we've moved across the thing that the council says don't do. And that's where their fight at that time is very obvious, and their fight still remains, right? Forget all the nuances about our intricacies and understand their fight's against false worship. Worshipping something that's not Jesus in Jesus' name versus worshiping Jesus in Jesus' name. And they want to make sure that nobody's worshiping statues like all them their pagans always do. And they also want to make sure that we understand that Christians can make art, because art is what God has redeemed us to do. And we sing and we draw and we write and we dream about a future that we know is certain in him. And we have the hope to inspire the world to join us. They can even sing our songs. You know, we would not have Western pop music without Bach. We would not have it. It could not be. He made the kind of music that allowed our civilization to exist, right? That's a tangent there. Back to 2D and 3D, though. Like, this, I got no time for that. Common sense tells you there's no difference between the 2D and 3D object. You can worship either one of them. Is the television 2D or 3D? You tell me people aren't worshiping those pictures? And I think this a lot these days. As I go into homes and I see a wall of kids. And I see no Jesus nowhere. And I go, they're just pictures. They're just images. They're just icons. Where is that line of worship? Where is that line of idolatry? And if you think it's as simple as, well, that one's 3D, so we can't do that one. But 2D, we're good. Like, you missed human nature, I think. You're really just missing human nature on this one. Yeah. So there you go. I don't know if there's a first source Lutheran commentary on this. I can point you to our confessions and the worship of saints in the Augsburg Confession and its apology. It's probably a good place to go. I do believe it mentions images there. But our classic position is going to be that of the East, in that since the creation's been redeemed by Christ, we can indeed have images. And then that of the West, 3D is okay because Jesus is 3D. The prototype is the thing that matters. What I mean by that? Jesus, the real Jesus, is the thing that matters. I'd say, without adopting the entire Second Nicene Ecumenical Council, I'll give a hearty hey ho to that little bit I quoted. Absolutely. Good stuff.